Welcome back to the Team to Be Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. The Miami Heat just took care of business at home against the Pelicans. They defeated the Pelicans 125 to 106. With that win, the Miami Heat moved to 20-16 on the season. They're seventh in the East, and they have now won 5 out of their last 6 games. And before we get into who went off today, let's talk about how the game was won. The Miami Heat forced an incredible 25 turnovers. They turned that into 31 points. They also had over 20 steals, and they scored 31 fast break points. That is Miami Heat basketball. The defense created offense. There was pressure all over the floor. And when the threes are falling, this team becomes a really tough team to deal with. The Heat shot 18 of 44 from three, which is over 40%. And that's really the difference between grinding out wins and blowing out teams. And look, when I'm watching games like this, especially when Miami gets hot early, I'm locked into every single possession. And that's actually a perfect time to tell you about today's sponsor. Because if you're watching a game like this and thinking Norman Powell is feeling it tonight, or the Heat are going to keep forcing turnovers, Underdog Fantasy is the best way to stay locked into the action. And what I love about Underdog is how simple it is to use. You're not doing anything complicated. You're just picking whether your favorite players are going higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, and steals. And when you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, which is absolutely wild. And for example, this week, when I'm watching the Miami Heat, I'm going to be looking at someone like Bam Adebayo going higher on rebounds, or Norman Powell, who dominated tonight, going higher on points when he's feeling it. So this keeps every game interesting, every possession interesting. And even when the offense gets a little chaotic, the games are more fun with Underdog Sports. So download the app today and use promo code Team to Beat to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Team to Beat. Underdog, make picks, win money. All right, let's get back to the game because Norman Powell had one of his best shooting nights of his entire career last night. Norman Powell was amazing. He finished with 34 points, knocking down 9 3-pointers, which is a career high for him. He went 9 for 12 from deep, which is absurd efficiency and the biggest reason why this Miami Heat team was able to dominate the Pelicans. And what it stood out to me wasn't just that he made shots, it was how fast it happened. He hit 4 threes in the first 5 minutes of the game. By the end of the first quarter, he already had 15 points. At halftime, he was sitting on 20 points, and you could feel it in the building. Every time he caught the ball, the crowd expected him to shoot a three and expected that three to go in. Even when foul trouble slowed him early, it didn't really matter. He comes out in the third quarter and he immediately buries 3 more threes, matching his previous career high, which was 8, which was just a few games ago. And late in the fourth quarter, he hits number 9, officially setting a new personal best for himself. He finishes 1-3 shy of tying the Miami Heat franchise record. And honestly, that's just not nitpicking. This was elite shooting from Norman Powell. And this is the version of Norman Powell the Heat need. Someone who is decisive, confident, letting it fly without hesitation. He needs to be an all-star. He is playing like an all-star, and he deserves to be an all-star in the East. So let's talk about also how this game actually turned from competitive to a blowout. So the first half was weirdly tight, despite the Pelicans committing 17 of their 25 turnovers in the first half. The game still had 6 lead changes and 7 ties, which was pretty frustrating and annoying because the Pelicans are one of the worst teams in the West. They are better than their record indicates. They have a lot of good pieces, but they're just a rebuilding team, a lot of injuries. Zion's always in and out of the lineup, but still close first half. But once Miami closed the second quarter on this 11-3 run and went into halftime up 8, you could feel the momentum shift, and thank God it did. Then came the third quarter blitz. New Orleans scores the first 7 points of the half. They cut the lead to 1, and we're like, here we go again. The Miami Heat are playing a tight game with a team that's not good that they should be dominating at home. And then Miami absolutely rips their souls out. They go out on a 21-2 run, and that's pretty much the ball game. Their defense turns up and it turns into offense. Steals turn into fast break opportunities. The threes start raining again. And suddenly, what was a close game is a 20-point cushion. And the Miami Heat never looked back. This wasn't they barely held on win. This was a controlled, professional, put them away performance, which I'm thankfully happy that they did against, again, a bad team in the West. But here's where the Heat really won this game. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the Pelicans finished with 25 turnovers, which is insane. That's a season high for even the Pelicans. And like I said earlier, the Miami Heat turned that into 31 points off turnovers, which is insane. The Heat recorded 20 steals, like I mentioned earlier. That also tied a season high. And then they also had a season high 31 fast break points. And so this is a blueprint for the Miami Heat. Play great defense, play fast, hit the three ball, get to the rim, and you're going to win against a lot of teams, not just the bad teams. But when Miami plays aggressive at the point of attack on the defensive end and they're jumping passing lanes, they're rotating with purpose, they're protecting the rim, they don't need perfect half court offense. They can create chaos. They were, I believe, the fourth rated defense. I don't know where they're at now. That was 2 nights ago I last checked. But again, when you combine that, their defense with 18 made threes at 41%, this team becomes extremely dangerous. And this wasn't just about the shooting. This was about the pace, their pressure, and their identity, which is the defense. So let's talk about Bam Adebayo. He's been struggling a lot in the past 2 weeks or so. And he was coming off an injury, a back injury, and he had a toe injury. And he doesn't look the same. He doesn't look as athletic. He's beat up, but so are a lot of guys, obviously, at this point. We're like 40% done with the NBA season, 42% of the way done. So he hasn't been playing that great. And stat wise, last night, Bam finished with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block, which is fine, but he didn't score his first bucket until 3 minutes left in the first half. And he also had 0 rebounds at that point with 3 minutes to go at in the second quarter. And at halftime, he had only 4 points, and that's not ideal. He did find more rhythm in the second half, but here's the real takeaway. Bam has now hit 20 points, just once in 11 games. So that is something to monitor. His averages are going down. He's been averaging like 12 points per game or so over the last 8 or 10. And this matters. The Miami Heat, they didn't need Bam to dominate offensively tonight, but because the ball moved, others stepped up, and Bam still impacted the team as a defensive player and as a passer. But this is one of the games where the box score doesn't scream Bam, but the win still reflects his value, but he's just not playing as good as he should. And I think it's because of the injuries. And another encouraging factor last night with this victory against the Pelicans was without Jaime Jaquez Jr., without Tyler Hero for the 1,000th game, the Miami Heat were still able to get it done. Jaime Jaquez has been playing like the sixth man of the year. He's having a amazing third season coming off the bench, averaging almost 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, like 4 assists. He's playing incredible. He twisted his ankle a couple nights ago against the T-Wolves in that loss, and he was out, and players stepped up off the bench. Niko Jovic was outstanding last night. Like, this guy is literally Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. You never know what you're going to get. He's been so inconsistent up and down this season. Starting to piece together some games, starting to get some confidence. He's healthy at the moment for now. He's also someone who's pretty injury prone in his young career, but he played great. You can't complain about his game last night. He finished with 19 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in just 26 minutes. His defense was pretty great last night as well, not just because of the stocks, but in general, he was moving his feet, guarding his opponents, and played very well. He had 13 points in the first quarter alone, so he was off to a very hot start. He was aggressive, confident, attacking closeouts, making quick decisions. And this is the Jovic the Miami Heat have been waiting for. This is who they expected that they would be getting throughout the season when they gave him his extension this offseason. And then we have Pelle Larsson also coming back from injury. This guy is literally the glue on this bench. This guy exudes Miami Heat culture. He played amazing, and I was happy to have him back. He's our Swiss Army knife, do-it-all energy guy that comes off of the bench, and he gave you 16 points, 6 assists, 3 steals, and he was a plus 23 off the bench. That's massive. This guy, again, one of our best young up-and-coming Steals, who we got in the second round last season or 2 seasons ago now. It's the second season. He brought energy off the bench. He brings the defense, the pace, and this is exactly what the Miami Heat second unit needs to do. And without Jaime Jaquez, I'm happy Pella Larson was able to step up and play spectacular basketball. And even guys like Myron Gardner, who rarely plays, gave some productive minutes and defensive activity, and he's a pest. And he seems to be annoying a bunch of people. Jaden McDaniels pushed him a few weeks ago or a few games ago. Um, Derek Queen was upset about him for doing something. He is just a guy who's excited to get opportunity and play, and he's going to play his heart out on the defensive end. So that was huge. And yeah, this bench did amazing last night. This bench did amazing and was a big reason why this Miami Heat team won. Quick update on Tyler Hero, though. So Tyler Hero was available and in uniform, but didn't play. So he missed another game. He's only played 6 games all year. So he's missed like 30 games now. This just felt weird. Like, why is he available, but actually not available? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, why does he suit up if he's not going to play? Like, or even why designate him as available? So this toe injury has kept him out, I think, of 13 straight games. And it's frustrating. We need Tyler Hero. He's made out of glass. He's always hurt, literally always hurt. He's had one season where he played over 60 games, which was last season, and he was an all-star. So we need him. And according to Eric Spoelstra, this was about him getting his mindset right for the next step. The next step, which is playing after being hurt. Like, I don't understand this, but Hero hasn't played since December 9th, but he's, again, traveling with the team and could return soon. He's day-to-day still. So the Heat are going to be going on a 4-game road trip. So can he return on this road trip? I'm hoping. I mean, he dressed up, for heaven's sake, at this point. Like, play a game. Like, it's a toe injury. I know those nag, and it's like a big injury to a certain degree, but like, we just need him on the floor. Like, I don't know when he's going to come back, but when he does, he's going to help this team. This offense gets another level of spacing, shot making. He's going to be our best 3-point shooter. So we need Tyler Hero to get healthy, and we need him back soon. So zooming out again, the Miami Heat are 20-16, 7th in the East, won 5 out of the last 6 after having a horrible stretch where they lost 8 out of their last 9 before a 4-game winning streak, and then winning 5 out of their 6. So they've been better of late. They're defending, they're forcing turnovers, they're getting contributions across the roster. Is everything perfect with this team? Are they back? No. Are they a championship team right now? No, definitely not. But is this a real playoff team that is finding its identity in the regular season and is trying to get healthy because they're not? Yes, that's what they are. They are a playoff team. Hopefully they avoid the play-in and can be a top 6 team. I see them as potentially a top 4 team in the East if they get right, if they get healthy again. Right now, they are only 1 game out from the 4th seed, 2 games out from the 3rd, and 3.5 from the 2 seed. So the East is tight, and a good week or two for the Heat and a bad week or two for the Raptors, for the Knicks, for the Celtics means we could possibly leapfrog those teams and move up and become a top 4 team this season, which would be huge. So next up for the Miami Heat, tough road trip starting against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who we just lost to a couple days ago at home. And that's going to be a real test. Can we bounce back? Can we figure it out? Can we look at the tape and see what we did wrong and beat this team on the road? So if the Miami Heat plays with this level of energy, this type of pressure, this type of shot confidence, getting Tyler Hero back in the mix, they're going to be in every single game, hopefully, because their defense is just that good. And again, if they're making their threes, they can compete with anybody in this league. So Heat Nation, let me know in the comments, is this the best version of the Miami Heat we've seen so far this season? And how important is Norman Powell to this team moving forward? Is he an all-star? Do you think he'll get his first all-star vote? I hope so. I think he will. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.